Welcome back to Black Thistle Forge. I just wanted to show you what my latest project was. I actually had a earlier video that I had done a few days ago with a different camera, but it was completely out of focus, so that won't be uploaded. And that video is actually about the preparation for this latest project. I just wanted to show you where we're at on it. We've got this Mai Cleaver that is made out of 5160. This is a piece of it right here, and it was clad with mild steel 1018, and this was actually just started out as a test to see how well it would go. Some of you may know from an earlier video, we did do a earlier San Mai Franciscan style axe, and we had it titled as video 1, and we never did a second video, and I'll show you why here in a second. But like I said, this was actually a trial test piece to see how it would go, and so far it's going okay. We have some issues with it. I will show those to you here. Right here we started out with this piece of 5160, and it's 2¼ inches wide. Problem is we didn't have any mild steel. It was 2¼ inches wide. We only had 1.5 inches wide, and as you can see, we clad it and then we had to tack weld it, and so you can actually see those tack welds on here. They still showed up. And another issue that we had after it was forged was we were hoping it would hold together in one piece, and the reason why I'm saying that is because of this project here. Ta-da! Look at that. This, the second day, we didn't throw it right into the temper oven right off the bat. We waited a day, and you can see that it actually split right down the middle of the 5160, the semi-truck leaf spring, which does happen every now and then from my understanding. We were hoping the same thing would not happen to this, and as you can see, it basically held together for the most part. We do have a slight delam right, let's see, right here. You're not going to see it because it's really slight. We have another delam. Let's see, this one's very, here it is. It's a small delam. It's right here. That right there, you can kind of see it, but you can see from the grind down in, it maybe goes 1/16 of an inch. This one goes maybe another 1/16 of an inch. We do have a delam right here though. You can kind of see it up here where it goes to right about there. So we've got this big cleaver that is done in the brute to forge style. This is another issue we have with it right here, where we couldn't blend this in completely. It's not a delam, it's just not blended in very well. We've got a few things we can do here with this. First off, I'll give you some dimensions on it. The blade itself is just barely under 7 inches. The handle is 6¼ inches about. Oh, and there's another thing I wanted to show you right here. We do have some issues here. We have some stress fractures here from when it bent, when it was not fully up to cherry red heat. And these right here, this is actually where the other end of the mild steel had been tack welded on. So some few things we can do. We can either completely cut off this bottom part, cut it off here, and cut it off here, and have a billet to forge out a whole different knife. But I have 8 hours into this knife build right now. Another thing we can do is we can weld up some of these issues here that we're having, and not sell it, because I wouldn't sell something like that. We'd test it and see how well it held together, if it held together. Or we can just throw it away and not do anything with it. So what do you all think? I'd like to hear what your comments are down in the comments section. See what we should do with it. I know what my inclination is to do. You can see this, no warping at all. The billet itself is fairly solid. It's just got a few delamines on the very edges where the edges of the steel were, right here. So it'd make a nice solid billet, but actually be kind of cool to test this to see how well it holds up even with the issues it has. Another thing I wanted to point out is a lot of cleavers, you have a hole up here to hang it from. I actually had a fairly long tang, and this front end is actually pretty heavy. So I extended the tail out and I curled it down to make the hole to hang it from there. It actually has the dual purpose of counterbalancing the front end weight and to actually give you something to hang it from, but also gives you a hand and a half hold, because this is a brute of a cleaver. It's fairly thick. We'll measure it here. It is almost 3/8 inches thick on the edge, on the back edge, and this front edge is about as thick as a dime. So it's a hefty cleaver. It should withstand most anything we throw at it, but I don't know, it does have those issues with it. Pretty cool looking. Let me know what you think. Post your comments below. If you're wondering, this is actually done on a cell phone. My son was the person who does a lot of the videotaping and the editing, but he has a bigger brain than I, and he is now working on a doctorate degree out of state and doesn't have as much time to help out in the forge, even though he is a co-founder and will always be a part of the forge. So that's why this style is a little different. Let me know what you think of the video style and what you think of this cleaver, and if you think we should throw it away, if we should cut it down into a billet, or if we should continue on with it and try and weld up some of those flaws and test it, see if it holds together. Leave your comments below. Like and subscribe if you like. I'll see you another day.